Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe's next movie, which is going to be the Thunderbolts, which is the 36th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I remember it was many years ago, back in 2008, the first Iron Man movie dropped to start it all for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and how the mighty have fallen over these last 5 years that Marvel has literally basically destroyed their box office juggernaut, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, you're just looking at these movies that get announced and then they come out and they're just basically absolute, just either at the very best, completely mid to the point where like you could literally not even justify going to the theaters to watch these movies, or you're at the point now where the box office for them are just so unbelievably bad. Like, even the ones in the certain virus period, like those performed really bad, and you thought that basically coming out of the certain virus period, those movies were going to be box office juggernauts based on the fact that, well, the MCU still had a lot of goodwill at that moment in time. Even that didn't happen. People kind of saw the writing on the wall. And I think the first indicator of that was the TV shows, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki season 1. Now, I get the criticisms of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I do. And it's horribly written with like dialogue and shit like that, the way they kind of treat like just Americans in that show, where like, fucking hell, why is Sam Wilson glorifying and helping terrorists? Like, what is going on with you people at Marvel? But you see just the downward trajectory in their storytelling just from the shows, and then Black Widow, the way they treated that movie, the whole day and date release date, and then the box office numbers just not being there for some of these like side characters actually. And it's something that we've talked about just on the MSK show, if you guys watch that live, where this is what a lot of you guys do. You guys think because since Marvel kind of had these like lesser known characters pop off for them, that you think that every single time they do it is going to be the same way. Guys, that's not been a narrative for them in a very, very long time. Yes, when they first started, the most known characters they had in the Avengers, I would say, were Captain America and Hulk, and debatably Thor. Because Thor is kind of known, not even just from Marvel comics, that's like a Greek mythos kind of character as well. Think about this. They've only had under-known characters like work in that time from phase 1 through 3, because that was their peak, right? So if their narrative was that they always took lesser-known characters and made them work, they haven't did that in forever. It didn't happen with. They literally tried to do what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy with Eternals, and it did not work. That was pretty much the same thing they tried to do, bar none. Carbon copy of that didn't work, right? People say, well, you got to put the right person on it. Guys, all these people are not really the right people for any of these jobs, really, for being completely honest here. But, a lot of the times when you get these underrated characters, unless you're putting someone literally, I guess, as talented as James Gunn doing it, it's not going to work. And also, you guys have this mindset where it's like, well, they were in the comics, they must have did well. No, it's not. That's not how that works at all. No. Second of all, these lesser known characters are lesser known for a reason. Now, you mostly know these characters from animation and movies and television anyway, but the reason why they were never kind of greenlit to go that far is because, well, let's be honest here, no one was going to care about these characters. So you should expect this as a mindset. You should expect that if you announce a movie and make it full of lesser known characters, no one's going to give a flying fuck, because that should be the actual appropriate reaction. If I don't know who the fuck these characters are, why in the world would I go and watch those movies? Now, people go watch them in general because superhero genre is still technically popular to a certain extent. People still, at least the Marvel Cinematic Universe, are still kind of holding out hope it could ever kind of reach its heights. It's never going to happen, but just the hope is still there, right? So the box office projections for like Thunderbolts and, movies like Fantastic Four is on out. But do you remember the box office projections for Brave New World? They were awful. Yeah. They were completely terrible, And Brave New World's kind of overperformed in its first week to a certain extent by making an extra $10 million on what it was going to make worldwide at the box office. And it still ended up failing, Like, I truly don't know why they don't make movies based off characters people are actually going to pay money for. Like, legitimately, a lot of money. Like, a lot of you guys on Twitter will do, oh, I like that movie. I like that character. No, you don't. Let's be honest with you. No, you don't. And if that were true, you go watch it. But most of you don't watch it. Or it doesn't perform the way that Marvel thinks because the character is not as popular. Sorry. That's kind of how the hierarchy goes. Big dogs get to eat first. Little guys can eat when I feel like it. That's how it should work. So, yeah. What do you think, man, about Marvel's current strategy?
Well, the big problem is, and you mentioned earlier, was they have no goodwill. They have no faith. And they're not putting characters in situations where, like, you don't make a movie like Thunderbolts and expect it to be $1 billion movie. You don't make for Captain America Brave New World, and it's not going to be a tent pole for your new rise or trying to get you back on track. On top of that, how many of these stories are we going to hear about films that have overinflated budgets because they did reshoots, rewrites, changing directions, doing all of this stuff that ends up ruining and hurting the film, blowing up the budget to the point where the film has to outperform. You know, like if they made Brave New World for $150 million, $400 million would have been a success. It would have been barely a success, but it would have been a success for them on some level. Instead, it's like they're just trying to, like, they think that everything that they do, just because it says Marvel on it, is going to do good. And they, you know, the reason why James Gunn can take a nobody character and make you love them is because he loves the characters. He understands the characters. He's a comic book fan. They don't have comic book fans making movies of comic book movies right now at Marvel. They have people who fit whatever agenda it is or whatever, you know, DEI hire or whatever bullshit they're doing. And it's like, this person's never read a comic book. They don't care about what's going on. And we're getting a lot of stuff that just doesn't make any sense. And, you know, what Marvel's already had and announced and canceled like 3 Avenger films with different directors and stuff along those lines before the Russos came in, and now they're doing their thing.
I want to tackle to your point. So the first one was that people have to understand, when Marvel could do like lesser known characters and make money off them, that was when they were in their peak. That's when they had goodwill, and people thought they could make decent movies. And keep in mind, not every single movie in the first 3 phases were good. I mean, i.e. Thor the Dark World, Iron Man 3, Ant-Man Wasp, Captain Marvel. Again, what travesties those fucking movies were, horseshit ass movies. Like, but in spite of the bad movies, people loved them so much that they were still willing to give Marvel their money because they knew what the end goal was and all that, right? Marvel isn't in that narrative anymore. They still truly believe they're in the narrative they had like around 2016, 2018, 2012, in that time frame. You are not in that narrative. You are in a narrative where no one believes you can make a good movie now. That is what your narrative is. And that should be the thing. Okay, people don't think we can make good movies anymore. Let's kind of like prove them wrong. Let's give them characters they actually want to pay actual money for, not what you say you'll pay money for, what money you're actually going to give up. The other thing you brought up, which is like, let's talk about this Thunderbolts team. So let's look at the characters. Florence Pugh's Yelena. Kind of one of the characters that did pop up for them as a fan favorite. That's cool. I think Florence Pugh does a great job. She's really hot, really attractive. I think she gives her A game there. Bucky, Sebastian Stan, cool character. A lot of people really like Bucky. Had a nice little redemption arc at this point. Red Guardian, don't know why it's just a classic I make jokes kind of fat guy, heart of the movie kind of thing.
Well, it's David Harbour. Everyone loves David Harbour.
Yeah. You know. You have Ghost, one of the worst MCU villains ever. That character sucks balls, booty ass.
Yeah, don't care anything about Ghost.
The gender swap Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie. Yeah. Really, really doing good job, Marvel. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Why is Hawkeye not like the government liaison, like Rick Flag position on Thunderbolts? You know, Bucky's not bad, but I would have liked to see an Avenger in that role. Like, he showed up, his hearing was going bad in the Hawkeye series. It would have been nice to see him showed up as kind of like this aging, I'm hearing, you know, I don't know, some kind of balance to it. The Thunderbolts, I like Yelena or Florence Pugh. I think she could carry a film, but this feels so much like the first Suicide Squad movie to me, where it's going to be funny, it's going to have some action, but yet it's like a C team, and they got to face the most powerful character that Marvel's shown yet, and it just doesn't like. Are you really going to use the Sentinel for a Thunderbolts movie? And what are they going to like? Is this well? I guess is the Sentinel's not going to die because he was announced, I think, in the Avengers film, wasn't he? Anyways, it's just I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, and this is Marvel's like. Aside from Fantastic Four, this was their other shot. They had what three shots for hits this year was Captain America, Thunderbolts, and then
Fantastic same thing Four. With DC back in 2023. As I said it, they're gonna have their 3-4 movie shots, and looking like a lot of them are gonna pretty much either be complete box office failures or they're gonna just be either mid in terms of like actual word of mouth. And the other character, the only one, another one, you have Wyatt Russell's fucking hell, John Walker. Probably one of the more better MCU characters they made in the last, 6 years at this point.
I like him. He's a good actor. He reminds me a lot.
You don't remember who Sentry was going to be? Sentry was going to be played by Stephen Yeun.
Yeah. He just had a scheduling conflict, so they went.
Yeah, they were going to race swap him. If he literally didn't have if he wasn't voice acting and filming for Invincible, he would have been Sentry.
Yeah.
So literally, just because the actor couldn't do it, they were going to race swap him. So like, good Lord, they're just addicted to just doing bad ideas constantly. So the projections are in for Thunderbolts. Now, I don't know this movie's budget. I think it's around $200 million.
Yeah, let's see this. What is the projection? Oh no, not good.
So Thunderbolts box office projections could continue Marvel's downward trajectory. That's not good. That's not good for Marvel at all. Because their box office performances have been unbelievably bad in the last, 6 years? And a lot of people still understand about movies. You don't get all that box office. A lot of that is percentages taken out by the theaters. So whatever movie that people said failed, really apply the other asterisks to your argument. So if like Multiverse of Madness made like 930 at the box office, okay, percentages all get taken out of that between China and America, right? And then all the other countries. Then it was also revealed Marvel's lied about their budgets on several movies. Ant-Man 3, The Marvels, Doctor Strange 2, and there was a few other ones in there as well, So do we even trust Marvel can tell us what the real budgets are? Now, if the movies are filmed in the UK, they have to file the whole tax credit thing to get the money back, and you can see what the budget actually is. The only reason why we can't see it for Brave New World is because it wasn't filmed in the UK. I thought it potentially was, but it wasn't, so we'll never get to know what the real budget of that movie actually is. Sad. So, a Minecraft movie's record-breaking debut aside, the 2025 box office has arguably been underwhelming so far. Fortunately for theaters, the typically busy summer movie season is right around the corner with the arrival of Marvel's Thunderbolts in early May. However, the film may not get off to a strong start as some hoped. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Thunderbolts is projected to gross somewhere between $63 to $77 million domestically over its opening weekend. That is terrible. That is bad.
Because that's going to be your best weekend. Right there. That's the best one. It's going to go down some level after that. Now, if it's really good,
the word of mouth will stabilize.
Word of mouth will stabilize it. It'll go like a 60-50 weekend. But yeah, that's not good for them.
And that's domestically. So worldwide, for internationally, we'll see what that number will look like. But a $70 million target, ooh, God, man, that's not good. For budgets as big as theirs, you need to hit, like, let me see. Let me go back in my history really quickly. I don't know what the alleged budget is, but I would assume since this has gotten delayed a few times because of the whole, like, writers and actors strike that happened a while ago. Yeah, I would imagine a cast this big has to be around the $200 million range. I would just assume, obviously.
Well, they might be getting past it because they do the whole
marketing too. Before marketing as well.
Signing multiple films. So it's like it's almost like basketball now where it's like Florence Pugh signs a contract where she's going to do multiple films for him so that they don't have to pay her big time every time. But let's see. What does it say for budget? budget.
Yeah, because I checked a few outlets. It didn't really say, unless it was just rumored.
Yeah, it says here that the rumor is the production budget was 200 million.
I figured, yep.
They said it's going to come. Well, this is what, the AI say it gross at least 500 million to break even.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Dude. Yeah, if that is true,
the out of control budgets for this company. Holy crap! The outlet notes that right now 70 million is the target number, which would be a fairly soft debut for an MCU installment. If these projections hold, Thunderbolts would earn less than February's Captain America Brave New World in its opening. Brave New World grossed 88.8 million in its first 3 days and 100 million over the extended weekend. Yeah, so Brave New World ended with like 180, 190 opening weekend. I don't know what this is going to end up with opening weekend. So it starts at like 70. So it should potentially hit 140 opening weekend worldwide if we're measuring it the same internationally. It might do better internationally, Brave New World grossed 88.8 million. Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm sorry, I read that already. Sorry. And $100 million over the extended President's Day frame. That target number of 70 million is also below a trio of Marvel releases that premiered in the midst of the certain virus pandemic. Black Widow, 80.3 million, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, 75.3 million, and Eternals at 71.2 million. So it's going to pretty much do worse than a movie that came out on a streaming day and date release. Because if Black Widow did 80 million domestically, this would do worse than that. That's fucking ridiculous. Thunderbolts is the final film of MCU's Phase 5. Hits theaters on May 2nd. Following the unveiling of the Avengers Doomsday cast in late March, the movie took a greater sense of importance within the overarching narrative of the multiverse saga. Several of the Thunderbolts stars are set to reprise their roles in Doomsday, making Thunderbolts required viewing for Marvel fans. That could be debatable. That's very debatable.
It is debatable because one thing Marvel sucks at, it's so weird too, because Marvel will ruin an entire script in order to set up another series, but then they don't have the balls to actually show a guest appearance. Like if Doctor Strange shows up in the Thunderbolts, or Nick Fury, or Thor, or something to connect it, even like a Spider-Man showing up, like bringing out Tom Holland, something to help bring it in to where we give a shit. But it's like just telling me that Thunderbolts, a movie that was made before the Russo brothers were given a contract, is now supposed to help set up, like I have to watch it to know what the Russo brothers are doing. The people who made Thunderbolts had no idea what the Russo brothers were doing because the Russo brothers weren't part of Marvel again yet. Mm-hmm. So it's like this movie feels almost like Blue Beetle, where it's like it's coming out, but it really doesn't mean anything for what's coming out afterwards, So yeah, I don't believe that we have to watch this in order to know anything that's going on with Avengers Doomsday, to be honest.
Well, where were we at? I think we're at the part where I bang my wife. I'm joking, guys. With under a month to go until the movie's release, Marvel is in the home stretch of Thunderbolts marketing. Tickets for the blockbuster went on sale earlier this week. There have also been claims that a test screening was very well received, indicating Thunderbolts could be a hit akin to Guardians of the Galaxy. So this is the thing with test screenings are people that are selected from the studio to go and watch a movie. So they have it's one of the weirdest disingenuous ways of selling a movie. If you're going to grab a bunch of people that want that insider access, they're not really going to be giving it basically bad reviews, right? Unless it's really, really bad. Yeah,
it's usually shills that they send to those things, so.
Yeah, it's like test screenings are such a weird argument because they can always be so hit or miss. And keep in mind, the stuff that they show in test screenings sometimes doesn't even make it into the version that we see. Like how many movies have went through test screenings that have changed versions from the final version that we've seen? The prospect of another Marvel movie struggling at the box office, fresh off the heels of Brave New World's own disappointing run, might raise some alarm bells. However, it's important to keep in mind that these are just projections. A Minecraft movie was estimated to earn around $65 million in the days leading up to its premiere and blew that figure out of the water with a $162.7 million domestic debut. Also, another disingenuous thing. Why? Oh my God. The only reason why I thought Minecraft wasn't going to be opening big was because the trailers look like absolute horse ass. Minecraft is what we all forgot, hindsight 2020, was that Minecraft is a very, very, very popular video game franchise. Thunderbolts isn't popular in anything, even in Marvel Comics.
Yeah,
so that's not comparable. That's not comparable at all. These are literally uncomparable, honestly.
Yeah, Thunderbolts is not going to have the surprise that Minecraft did. Minecraft was a movie that the rest of us looked like, well, there's no way this is going to do good. But then we forgot this is made for like 8 to like.
Yeah, we generally forgot the actual video game is so unbelievably popular that kids would just ask their parents to go and take
like,
it.
My nephews went to watch it, and one's 15 and the other one is 10. And they absolutely loved it. And it was filled with kids their age who were like screaming when stuff happened that was from the game and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Thunderbolts is not going to have that. Now, it could get a good word of mouth. It could be a well put together film that has that humor and heart. And, it might be good. It's going to be still hurt by Marvel's lack of faith, or the lack of faith people have in Disney. But word of mouth could carry it on to where it has a strong box office. We never know, but I don't think that first weekend is going to reflect that. I think if it's good, the second weekend we'll only see like a 30% drop off or something along those lines. If it's good, if it's not good, but I don't think it's going to have any. There's no hype behind it right now. No one's like excited to see Thunderbolts right now. There's more hype around Fantastic Four, and honestly, it could be argued that Fantastic Four hype is taking away from Thunderbolts. So
you could argue that, yeah. With a few weeks to go before Thunderbolts arrives, there is still a chance the film will exceed these initial expectations, especially if word of mouth is strong. Thunderbolts could end up being a massive success. Yeah, and it all depends on. It always hinges on week 2. Because keep in mind, people, the majority of people that'll go and see these movies, any blockbuster, is majority in week 1. That's where you make the majority of your money. And the rest of it is obviously repeat viewings based off like word of mouth. If word of mouth is strong, it might go up. If word of mouth is not good, that's not good for Marvel. That just won't be good at all. No. Viewers seem to have responded positively to Thunderbolts promotional material that paint the film as a fresh, exciting addition to the MCU. Thunderbolts should also benefit from lack of competition. That's another thing that's disingenuous and a lie as well. This didn't matter for Brave New World. This didn't even matter for Snow White. Lack of competition could be an argument in some cases, but that hasn't really been the thing. Yeah.
If it's good, lack of competition will help it because there'd be nothing coming out to overshadow it. So if it comes out and it's good, you could see a better turnout for the first weekend because some people will see it like Thursday night, early showing, and then they tell all their friends, oh, it's great, then they go see it Saturday. And it will also help it on the second week. But if it's bad, if it's bad, then we're not definitely not going to see anything out of it. Let's see here.
After it opens on May 2nd, it will be the highest profile title in the marketplace for a couple of weeks, meaning it'll have a bit of a runway to have a healthy box office run. However, late May sees the arrival of heavy hitters like Mission Impossible 8, which is called Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and Lilo and Stitch. So it'll be vital for Thunderbolts to come out the gate strong. Marvel has a lot riding on this film as it builds to the conclusion of the multiverse saga, which has been absolutely terrible. So hopefully audiences come out in full force to support it. And that's going to be
I think Lilo and Stitch is going to be a hit. So Mission Impossible, the last one didn't go over very well. I think Mission Impossible could dethrone it. But I do think Lilo and Stitch is going to be a good. I see Lilo and Stitch going to over 100 million on its first weekend.
Gosh. So that's, I guess, the way I'll kind of end this off is Marvel, basically Marvel Comics and the MCU have kind of put themselves in the spot where fans just don't kind of trust them with anything. At least the people that I interact with don't trust them with shit, honestly. There's going to be people that are always going to be diehards and going to hope that it'll get to that point where it'll be as good as it used to be. That's not the case, guys. The MCU specifically has not been able to pretty much do lesser known characters good, and they don't do big characters good. You know, and that they, from what we know, have directors that they don't even give full creative, not like full creative control, because I know there's always has to be like oversight, because then the directors might go fucking nuts. But just even from Nia DaCosta, the movie that she apparently made got all chopped up and destroyed. Like, why hire people if you're going to be the one putting out the version of the movie that you even want to make? Like, just hire someone to make that movie. Like, it's like they're casting directors instead of actually getting people. But yeah, so hopefully Thunderbolts is a hit for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they definitely need one, because they've only had like what 3 decent hits, like what No Way Home, Guardians 3 technically, if you really want to be technical with it, as far as like number wise, and Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah, Disney overall has been just doing like their only hit this year might be Lilo and Stitch. That might be their only good one this year for Disney, which is going to be a big blow for them. If I don't know, Fantastic Four has some hype behind it, so I can see that doing decently, especially being in July. But and I haven't heard too much crazy shit about any rewrites or anything on that. Pretty much they were able to film and do it. So, but yeah, they might only have 2 successes this year. I wonder what their tally is and how much money they've lost. It used to be like around 30 billion. Now I'm wondering if it's how much high it is now, because they have not had many successes in a while. Like, I can't think of any.
Yeah, the shows generally don't hit either. Like the Deadpool, not Deadpool, sorry, Daredevil Born Again TV show they just put out has been very lukewarm on reception. You know,
yeah, I've heard it's the best thing they've done on TV, but it's not even close to as good as the Netflix one, because there's a big gap between that. But
yeah,
I haven't got a chance to watch it though. All I seen was clips. So, but another missed opportunity, because they didn't even mention Spider-Man in it. They mentioned Spider-Man in the beginning, but then there was no cameo. There was nothing like a TV screen in the background where they're talking about it and all this stuff. So, more missed opportunities, but that could have been because of Sony. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I have no faith in any of it, so I'll wait.
Yeah, at this point now, you're just like, hey, surprise me. Our expectations are literally so far to the damn ground. It's like that whole meme of like our expectations were low, but holy fuck. Yeah, we're like at that point now. Just surprise me, or you actually are going to even lower our expectations compared to what they are already going to be at. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace.